Cheers, guys. You're watching Ashley Against All Odds, where we basically talk about football, and football. I'm 63.3% against the spread. Let's gamble together and make some money. Let's get on into it. Packers and the Lions have a bye week, and the Titans are expected to play. Their game has now been moved to Tuesday. I honestly don't even think that game should happen. The Bills have an amazing record. Right now, the Bills are undefeated. It's not fair because they're chancing their own players' safety by going against the Titans, who every day there's another Titan player or another person in the organization that's caught it. They were told not to practice, and yet they still decided to practice. There's definitely going to be some fines going on there. They may even lose a draft pick. The game is scheduled for Tuesday. If you can get your bets in, just take the Bills and the Bills to cover because, the Titans have no one. So since we're talking about the Steelers, we might as well talk about their Sunday matchup. They're fresh off of a bye week, thanks to the Titans. Even though this is not a division rivalry, this is a state rivalry. Pennsylvania versus Pennsylvania. Who will win, Pittsburgh or Philadelphia? I want it to be Philadelphia, but it's not going to be Philadelphia. So currently right now, the Eagles hold a 1-2-1 record, and the Steelers are 3-0 undefeated. Do I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to bring down the undefeated Steelers? I do not. So, if the Steelers win this game, which they should, this will be their first 4-0 start since 1979. Ben Roethlisberger has thrown for 7 touchdowns in his first 3 games. Carson Wentz has had 7 interceptions. Definitely take Pittsburgh for the win. Ooh, I caught that. We almost had to stop filming to clean, but I caught it. Woo! It's like I'm Odell Beckham Jr. I caught that with one hand. I think it might have been 2, but I'm going to say it was 1. Pittsburgh's only favored by 7 points, and the Steelers are home. I don't know if the bookies have been watching my Philadelphia Eagles, but I have. The Eagles are so hurt right now. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey, who's always out, I mean, he's just constantly injured, is still injured. He has a foot injury and an illness, so he's going to be out for this game. Not to mention Deshaun Jackson for the hamstring and Maddox on his ankle. Eagles announced on Wednesday that they're going to be activating the 21-day practice window for defensive end Vinny Curry and cornerback Craig James, who were placed on the IR in the very beginning of the season. Surprisingly, the Steelers are pretty healthy. Marcus Allen with his foot and Derek Watt with his hamstring. Steelers for the win, and they're going to cover. Speaking of injuries, I mean, man, the Arizona Cardinals just got hit hard. Their injury report is just as long as a CVS receipt. That being said, I still think they're going to win because they are playing the Jets. Even if the Jets are home, it's still the Jets. And this is the one year I'm kind of happy I moved out of the city because I don't want to see my pissed off friends. The spread's 7, and I think Arizona Cardinals will cover 7 points, so spread them. LA Rams are going to be traveling to Washington to play the football team. Chase Young has been listed as questionable. That is the biggest decision maker on whether or not this team will probably not win, but at least cover the spread. Dwayne Haskins has been benched, and now starting for the Washington football team will be Kyle Allen. Allen was at the Panthers, and Rivera was his coach, so they might have a better bond together. I still don't think it's enough for the football team to get the win here, and I think they're going to cover. Spread them. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to be traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, and it is the Chiefs. Easy as that. Yeah. Ain't no one going to stop Patrick Mahomes. Okay, and he's home, so definitely take KC for the win, which is probably why the point spread is 11.5 points. Wow. Vegas ain't playing. Yeah, no. KC did put the Ravens and Lamar Jackson to shame. I mean, they covered for sure the spread. So could they cover with the Raiders? Right now, the Raiders are 2-2. They're not a bad team, but I definitely think that KC can win by 2 touchdowns, and I think that they're just going to rack up a ton of points. So Kansas City for the win, and the spread. Spread them. I don't know what happened to this next team, but we have the Houston Texans that are going to be hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you asked me about this game last year, I would have told you it's not even a question. Texans for the win, and they would cover whatever the spread is. But this year, what the heck happened to the Texans? The Texans did just fire Bill O'Brien on Monday, which wasn't a shock considering this horrible winless start. I kind of like the Jaguars here, and this is why. So while the Jaguars only have 1 win under their belt, which isn't that much better, and the Texans are home, there's just so much going on right now. Bill O'Brien's been fired. The team is kind of a bit in disarray, right? And even if they're home, the spread is 6 points. I think that's too high. I do. I definitely think this is going to be an extremely high scoring game. So take the over on this one. Get 6 points. So I'm going to take Jaguars for the spread here. Yep. Play they. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to be traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. It is the Ravens. Yep. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals currently have a 1-2-1 record. Exactly the same as my Eagles because they both tied each other in that matchup in overtime, and now they have tied each other in the terrible records. Crazy things can happen in a division rivalry. Could the Bengals beat the Ravens? They could, but currently right now, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are actually in second place in their division. They're trailing just behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are expected to probably win this week, so they'll still stay behind them even if they pull out this win. And they're playing the worst team in their division, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Ravens are going to come hard on this one. Lamar Jackson is fired up, definitely going to win. That's a sure thing. But I'm going to say 13 points. Ooh. I don't really want to touch this game. I'm not going to lie. It's a division rivalry, and I just think crazier things could happen. I know everyone's like, oh my gosh, no, for sure. Ravens are going to cover. That's so easy, but it's not that easy. I think the easier games are always the harder ones for sure. So, all right, I'm going to say the Ravens are going to cover. Spread them. The Atlanta Falcons are going to be hosting the Carolina Panthers. And Julio Jones is going to be a game-time decision, and he is super crucial. He has missed 3 games so far due to a hamstring injury, and he did not practice, so that leads me to think he's probably not going to play, but the Falcons are a 2-point favorite currently, and they opened at 3.5. Now, I know you're thinking that's not a huge drop down, but it actually is. So in gambling, when a team is a 3.5-point favorite, that's almost like saying they have to win by 7, right? So now that the Falcons are only a 2-point favorite, that means that it's almost kind of like a pick'em. Most likely the team's going to win by a field goal, unless it's something like what happened on Thursday Night Football, which is extremely rare. I think they're thinking what I'm thinking, which is that Julio Jones will not be playing for the Falcons, in which case take the Panthers for the win, and you get 2 points. Miami Dolphins are going to be traveling to San Francisco to play the 49ers. The 49ers are just so hurt too. Oof, I mean, a lot of these teams are. They went from Netflix and chilling and relaxing to thrown into a game with 300-pound men running at them at full speed and not expected to hurt themselves. San Francisco is actually blaming it on the field in New York, but I honestly think that it has everything more to do with the fact that none of these teams got any preseason or much to practice before they. The Dolphins are 1-3, and the San Francisco 49ers aren't that much better at 2-2. Now, I'd like to say that the 49ers being home will be home field advantage, but they have lost both their games at home and only won the 2 on the road, so that really doesn't change much for me. I am so crazy here, but I kind of want to take the Miami Dolphins. With San Francisco losing both games at home and the Dolphins winning that 1 on the road, 49ers are an 8.5-point favorite. 8.5 points? Like, to me, that seems crazy. So, yeah, take that 8.5 points and take the Dolphins. The New York Giants are going to be traveling to Dallas. If it was possible, I would want them both to lose, but I'll settle for a tie. You know, being an Eagles fan, of course. Both these teams are at the dead bottom of our division in the NFC East. So, Cowboys at least have a slightly better record with 1 win under their belt, but the Giants are still looking for their first win. Do they get it on the road in Dallas? I don't think they do. Point spread opened at 11, and now it is currently 8. 8 is still high, but while 8 is still pretty high, I think Dallas will cover. They're going to come out with a vengeance, and I think they're going to get their 2nd win of the season. So Dallas for the win, and they'll cover 8 points. Spread them. The Cleveland Browns are going to be hosting the Indianapolis Colts. I like the Browns. I don't think I'm crazy here, but I think it has everything to do with the fact that Odell has his group back. Yeah, I'm weirdly liking the Browns. The Colts are only a 1-point favorite. Some even have it as a pick'em. So you're not really getting much, but I am going to say take the Browns for the win, and depending on where you gamble, you'll either get 1 point or you'll just get none. Really wish I had a better Sunday Night Football matchup for you guys, but hey, there can always be a fight like last week, so don't miss it, because the Seattle Seahawks are going to be hosting the Minnesota Vikings. And currently right now, the Minnesota Vikings hold dead last place in their division. with 1 win. And the Seattle Seahawks are 4-0. They are undefeated, and I think Seattle will easily cover that 7 points. Russell Wilson's gonna score a whole bunch. He is home in his house. Definitely Seattle for the win and the cover. Spread them. That's Sunday Night Football and Tuesday, weirdly enough. I'm gonna give you guys Monday on Monday because so excited for Monday night. Cheers, guys.